Website and application development and management are among the most essential, helpful, and required skills and abilities in the current world. Individuals, professionals, teams, and organizations to be active and productive in the current world, to share their information, programs and ideas with others, and also to provide teaching and learning opportunities and seize the opportunities provided by online business and marketing and also modern technologies. They develop different websites and applications by coding or without coding. Individuals and human beings can develop and apply and manage websites and applications by coding through the use of different programming languages and softwares such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, and other programming languages. And also they can develop and apply and manage their websites and applications without coding and by the use of some modern and AI-powered tools and technologies and softwares such as WordPress, Hostinger, Pythagora, Wix, and so on. But the most professional structure and system of web development is web development by coding and through the use of programming languages, but it's time-taking and costs more. That's why some individuals and organizations prefer to develop and apply and manage their websites and applications without coding through the use of facilities applied by some tools and technologies such as WordPress, Hostingers. But actually they can develop and design very helpful and attractive websites and applications by the use of such technologies, which is easily applicable and costs less and also takes less time rather than coding. That's why people can use both coding or non-coding web development structures and systems to develop their required website or application. However, when individuals want to develop and apply and manage a website or applications, whether they use coding or programming languages, or they develop without coding and through the use of AI-powered tools and technologies, they need to learn some skills. They want to know how to apply such programming languages or tools and technologies, and they want to know how to follow different steps to develop a helpful and interactive website, and also how to manage well their websites to be helpful for themselves and for their audiences as well. Thus, this YouTube channel or Commu-Tech channel aims to provide helpful and practical information, knowledge, and issues about coding and non-coding web and application development, and also about the ways how to code, how to learn different programming languages, and also how to use different applications and tools to develop websites without coding. Thus, please subscribe this channel to gain essential knowledge and information about website development with coding or without coding. Actually, when we talk about website or application development, we have to know that website or application development procedure starts with a particular program, and based on the aim and goal of individual or organization that wants to develop and apply website or application. The individuals develop website or application based on their demands and needs. And there are some differences between website and application, or web and app. Actually, when we talk about website is a collective of web pages that connected together and accessible under a particular and applicable domain, and also accessible throughout the internet by the use of a web browser such as Google Chrome, Firefox, or any other browsers, and also connected to a particular server and has a particular domain and hosting or server services. In other words, when we talk about website is a collective of web pages that bounded together and also mostly focused on the related issues and recognizable under the same a domain and accessible through the internet by the use of a browser like Google Chrome, Firefox, or any other browsers, and also has a particular server or hosting service. But when we want to talk about app or application is a software mostly people use for a specific purpose, and individuals need to download and install application or app in their smartphones or computers or laptops to use. And also individuals use applications for particular purposes and special purposes such as language translation, entertainment, communication, such as WhatsApp or so on. And that's why when we want to use website, we want to have access through the internet by the use of a browser, and we have to access based on the particular and exact domain. And when we want to have access to application, we will have to download application and install application and use application based on the user-friendly structure and more interactive structure of application. And the third structure is a web application or website application. Actually, when we talk about website application or web application has some similarities with both website and app, and also has some differences with both website and app. Web application, such as website, individual develop it with different pages and structure, and also they mostly has particular domains, and they need to have particular server and hosting services. But they are mostly user-friendly and interactive, and users use web application based on their particular needs and purposes, and with specific structure and activities. The difference with app is individuals do not need to download or install web application. Instead, they have access to web application through their access to the internet and by the use of a browser, and also based the understanding and application of particular domain. A web application is quite bigger and also has more facilities and more opportunities and more options rather than app, single app, and includes both the characteristics of both website and application, and also more interactive and friendly users based on the need of users. And mostly people used to interact with one another, and also share their information, update some messages, and have some actions and reactions based on their requirements in their fields. When individuals want to develop their websites or applications, they have different options. They can develop a basic website and apply a very basic website just by the use of HTML. Actually, previously people used HTML to develop and use their websites, but when we use HTML to develop a website, we can develop a static and not dynamic website without any color, without any particular design, and it's not that much attractive. And when we use HTML to develop the main structure or basic structure of website, actually web development quite similar to the construction of a building, when we want to construct a building, firstly we construct the main structure and basic structure of the building based on the use of cement and some other materials. And to make the building usable and attractive, we use some decors and also use some different facilities. That's why when we design or develop the basic structure of a website by the use of HTML or hypertext markup language, we need to use CSS to add colors, to add design, and make it more attractive. That's why, firstly, we can, just by the use of HTML, we can develop a very basic website just to add some information and have access to basic information without any particular design. And when we add the CSS options and use CSS, we can add some colors, some designs, but still the website will be static and not dynamic, which is not that much attractive. And to design an attractive, helpful, and fully applicable and accessible the website, we have to apply a full package which includes HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, React, and Git. As I mentioned, to design or develop the basic structure of a website, we need to use HTML or hypertext markup language, and also we need to use CSS to have colors and designs, make it attractive. But to make the website dynamic and interactive, which is mostly needed nowadays, we have to use JavaScript programming language and also different options and facilities provided by JavaScript. To make the website or application applicable contents and materials of website and application applicable and usable under different structures, we need to use a Node.js, which is a JavaScript related dependent that enable websites and applications contents and programs to be applicable between or among different structures, and to design and develop our websites and application easily by following some particular structures and predefined structures and steps. We need to use React also, because when we use React, it helps us to follow particular structures and develop our website or the application easily. It means that when we go to somewhere, if we don't use a particular road or street, we may face some barriers or spend much more time to reach a particular area. But if we use a road or a street, that one helps us to reach the area we need easily and less time. That's why when we use React, because it includes predefined structures and steps, it helps us to develop our website easily in quite shorter time. But if we do not use React or any other similar dependent of programming languages, especially JavaScript, it may take more time for us to develop our website, and also we may face some challenges. And also when we develop our website or manage our website, we need to manage different structure, different steps of website development and our actions and reactions based on our website development and website management. That's why we need to know how to apply Git and use Git to manage and to control our website actions, reactions, and different editions, because Git helps developers to control their activities in their web development journey. But there is also another option if we do not use JavaScript programming language, because the main programming language here is JavaScript. If we use JavaScript, we need to use other dependents, actually HTML and CSS applicable in all web development options. But when we use JavaScript as the main programming language, we need to use Node.js, React, Git, and some other dependents. But if we want to change the main programming language, we use Python instead of JavaScript. Actually, Python is easier than JavaScript and easy and attractive and easily applicable programming language, because it uses natural language structure and understandable sentences structure instead of static codes, and more attractive. But mostly it's applicable in artificial intelligence or AI development and AI tools development, and instead of website development or web development. But we can use for web development and especially some attractive and interactive application developments. But when we use Python as the main programming language instead of JavaScript, we cannot use Node, React, and other dependents which belongs to JavaScript programming language. Instead, we have to use PyCharm or Visual Studio Code code editors, because without using any code editors, especially PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, through the use of Python itself, if we want to directly code and develop program by the use of Python, it would be very challenging. That's why code editors such as PyCharm or Visual Studio Code or VSC help us to develop our website or code easily and understand the coding processes and the steps easily without facing with any barrier. And also when we use Python, instead of using React, we have to use Django or Flask as the main structures and libraries, dependent libraries for Python that enables individuals and developers to develop their websites and applications. If you want to develop a huge and deep and multi-purpose website, we have to use Django because Django is deeper and bigger option that enables developers and individuals to use multi and different options to develop a deep and big and multi-option website. But if we want to develop a basic and a website with some simple options and applications, we can use Flask instead, because Flask is easily applicable and light option, not that much deep, and with fewer options and easily applicable. We can use Flask to develop our website by the use of Python programming language. That's why by coding we can use just HTML to develop a very basic website, but that one is not usable nowadays. And also we can add CSS to have a static website and basic website with some designs and colors. And also people do not admire and accept such kind of website. That's why to have a full and also fully acceptable and accessible and active website with the both front end and back end, we have to use the full package, which includes HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, React, and Git to design, to make it dynamic, to control the procedure and structure, and also develop a very helpful website. And also we can use the second option or by the use of Python programming language and also PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, code editor option or Django or Flask library to develop our website based on the coding structure. But the second option, as I mentioned it, web development and app development without coding, and through the use of some tools and technologies, we can develop our website or application easily and without spending that much time or without much cost. And just we can use predefined and pre-structured structures, and we can break changes, we can design based on our demands, but in a short time with a little cost. There are some options that we can design basic websites or develop basic websites. We can have access to free domain and server or hosting services by the use of Google Sites. If we use Google Sites, we can develop and design some basic websites, and we can have access to free domain, especially subdomains, and also free server. Also, through the use of Wix, also we can, which is a AI-powered tool, we can develop our website easily in a very short time, and also we can have access to free domain and server or hosting services. And if we want to do a little more professional web development and also have more options, we can use WordPress. WordPress provides more options for developers to design or develop their websites and applications without coding, but with more options. When they develop websites. When we develop websites through the use of WordPress, we can use a hostinger for providing domain and server or hosting services. And also hostinger itself can provide opportunities for web development, especially AI-powered opportunities and abilities to develop websites by the use of AI-powered techniques and technologies. Another option is Pythagora. The difference between Pythagora, WordPress, and Google Site is by the use of Pythagora, we can use Pythagora for coding purposes. Instead of using predefined and pre-structured structures to develop our websites and bring changes, we can just give inputs and prompts to Pythagora, and Pythagora will do the coding instead of us, and we can supervise the procedure, we can control the procedure, we can bring changes if any correction needed, and we can develop a website or application by coding, but not by ourselves. Just we will say to the Pythagora, and Pythagora will code instead of us, which is a AI-powered tool. When we develop the website or application, we can provide domain or hosting services by Hostinger. And through the use of such tools and technologies, we can develop websites and applications without coding. And also when we develop websites or website, we need to have domains and server or hosting providers, because without domain and server or hosting provider, we cannot apply and manage or activate our websites. If we design or develop our website without domain and server and hosting provider, we cannot make it activate or accessible for other people. That's why we have to have a particular domain for our website. Actually, domain is a human-readable name for a website, which is easily understandable. And when we use such domain, the domain, when we use words and particular characters, such language and characters not understandable for computer and coding systems, and such particular systems change that domain to IP or Internet Protocol systems to be understandable for the computer and that binary code working systems, systems and machines. That's why to use websites and to make usable and accessible our websites for other people, we have to have our domain and also server and hosting providers to make it and activate it. And there are different providers that provide domain or hosting services by receiving some budget, or paid providers such as Bluehost, Hostinger, GoDaddy, HostGator, and some others. We have to pay some monthly or yearly annual fees to have a domain and also server and hosting providers services. And also there are some free options such as Wix, free hosting, Google Host, HubHost, and Google Sites. It means that some individuals who want to have their own basic websites and do not want to spend their money, they can use Wix to develop their website easily, which is an AI-powered tool, and also they can have access to free domain and server hosting or server hosting services easily and without any payment. And also they can have access to free domain and hosting services by the use of free hosting, Google Host, or HubSpot. And also through the use of Google Sites, individuals can design or develop basic sites and also have access to free domains, especially subdomains, and free hosting services. That's why, based on their needs, individuals want to can use coding based web development, which is the most professional structure of web development, but has most costs and needs more time to develop a website. And also individuals can develop websites and applications without coding through the use of particular tools and technologies. And also individuals need to use domain provider in a server or hosting provider to activate their website, because without domain in server or hosting provider, we cannot activate and make accessible our website. That's why we can choose the paid option or free options. But for the use of any option, we have to learn some essential skills and abilities and know how to develop website by coding, or how to use different tools and technologies to develop and apply and manage websites and applications without coding, and also how to choose domains, servers, and hosting providers effectively. That's why this YouTube channel or Commu-Tech channel will provide helpful information and knowledge. Thus, please subscribe this channel to have access to helpful and essential knowledge and information gradually, to know how to code, how to develop website, and how to activate and make accessible your websites to other people. Thank you.